The first episode continues with Rick Grimes gunning down Deanna's husband. Presently, Rick and some group members of the Alexandria safe zone discover an exit point that has been barricaded with giant trailers. Thousands of walkers gather behind the barricade and begin toppling the trailers. In no time, they start crawling inside the safe zone. So Daryl holds them back in his arrows while Rick helps everyone escape. The scenes rewind to the 5th season story, in which we see Alexandria's leader, Deanna, mourning her husband with Abraham. Since her husband was infected, Rick shot him for good. The other members, including Glenn and his wife Maggie, also regroup after facing the brutal walkers' attack and tend to each other's injuries. Rick also unites with Morgan and Daryl to plan their next strategy. Abraham's love interest, Sasha, also finds him. In the present timeline, Rick's group is seen running from the walkers, which is a secret contribution to their plan of luring the walkers to a different location. Daryl has a flashback from before the plan was implemented. He approaches Rick, who decides not to bring in new survivors after all the troubles they've been through. As the present timeline goes side by side with the past timeline, we see Sasha and Abraham driving to the unknown location. In the past flashback, Rick visits Morgan after the incident and apologizes to him for keeping him contained when he went bonkers. In the meantime, we see Eugene on gate duty in Alexandria. An old group returns after weeks from their mission and asks Eugene to let them in. Despite mistaking them for strangers, Eugene lets them in and gets to know them. Rick brings Morgan to Alexandria and tells him about Deanna, the frontrunner of Alexandria. Before he tells him about why he killed Deanna's husband, he sees some men digging graves for the intruders who came to their community with ill intentions. Rick stops the men and opposes the idea of burying bad guys on their land. Deanna overhears Rick, so she steps in to take his side. She tells the boys to toss the bad guys' corpses outside instead of giving them a proper burial. Rick helps them carry the corpses to his car and tosses them in the trunk with Morgan's help, while telling him why he shot Deanna's husband. In the present, Rick, his girlfriend, and Morgan walk by the shuttle barricade, where Morgan accuses Rick's girlfriend of eating his protein bars, but she never admits to it. Back in the past, Rick brings the body to toss in the forest, but Morgan insists on giving them a proper burial and starts digging graves with a shovel. Around the same time, Rick hears some noises coming from the end of the forest. When he finds the edge of a cliff at the end of the forest, he first discovers the walkers that we saw at the beginning of the episode. Before he can contemplate the scenario, he witnesses Deanna's son, Ron, running in the forest with a couple of walkers chasing him. Rick saves Ron from the walkers, who don't have any sense of direction and start falling off the cliff. We see a quick flash from the present, in which we see Daryl leading a giant parade of walkers to an unknown location, besides Sasha and Abraham. In the past, when Rick asks Ron his purpose for lurking in the woods, he reveals that he's trying to look for his father's grave and will keep looking for it. Rick explicitly explains how he will be victimized by the walkers if he stays behind without their protection. They use binoculars to assess the situation and find out that the walkers are able to sneak in from a crack between the giant trailers. The side plot of the present timeline reveals that Rick has sent Glenn and a couple of other community members to kill the walkers that are in Daryl and Sasha's way. They're afraid that those walkers might divert the giant parade of walkers towards them and ruin the plan. Glenn and the others open the glass door of a commercial building, but realize that there's a metal shuttle keeping them locked inside the building, due to which their ruckus sounds amplified. In the past, Rick gathers the community and explains to them what he witnessed. Based on what he witnessed, he plans to make 4 teams to divert the walkers to the location, which is still unknown. One man doubts him and opposes the idea of Rick taking the lead, but Deanne shows her support in Rick's favor and encourages the others to do the same. In the next few scenes, we see Daryl and Sasha leading the parade of walkers towards Rick and his team, who have paved the path to get the parade to turn in a certain direction.
You have 10 seconds to get more snacks and like the video. You shouldn't play with terror.
We also see the past, where they show how everyone works together to pave the path and make a turn for the walkers. On the side, Glenn's story continues, and we see him and his team luring out the walkers, whom they gun down before the parade shows up. In the past, Rick and the Alexandria community faced a small wave of walkers from the side of their shuttle barricade. Rick lets the community members face them and suggests that they use shovels instead of guns, because guns draw more attention. In the meantime, Eugene eavesdrops on a bunch of rebels who are planning on killing Rick to take the lead. Poor Eugene gets caught and nearly gets shot, but Rick shows up on time and overpowers the main rebel. However, he spares his life instead of punishing him for his views. Presently, Rick unites with Glenn's team in the forest and faces a few walkers. One of their members, Carter, gets attacked by the walkers. These scenes get back to the past, in which we see Rick offering Morgan a place to stay at his home. He also shows him his baby daughter and cherishes some good times with him. In the present, Rick saves Carter from the walkers and wrings his neck to put him out of his misery since he's been infected. In another flashback, one of the members of Alexandria is skeptical about Rick's plans to teach everyone to shoot a gun. She doesn't want kids like Ron near weapons, but she still promises Rick that she will do everything in her power to fight the walkers. In the last scene, all the teams unite in the forest and lure all the walkers there. The second episode opens with Enid's backstory, who survives in the woods alone for days and nearly starves to death until she finds a live tortoise to feast on. After devouring its flesh raw, she uses the bones to write the acronym JSS without giving any context. In the present, we see Carol from Rick's group browsing the community's pantry, along with some other women in the presence of the pantry keeper. Once she's done browsing, she finds a lonely kid in the community and tries to cheer him up. Inside the main house, Ron's guardian offers him a free haircut. Contrary to her expectations, Ron flips out on her because he knows she's going to alter his mind about Rick, whom he sees as a threat. In the garden, Maggie has a word with Deanna, who is still shaken and traumatized by her husband's demise. Maggie gives her some vegetable seeds and discusses her ideas of growing their vegetable garden. She reminds Deanna that her husband, Reg, had a vision of growing their community, so she must also share the same vision as Reg and work towards the growth and betterment of the Alexandria community. Eugene and Tara also come across the new doctor, Denise, in the infirmary. While everything has a thing going on, Rick's son, Carl, takes his baby sister on a stroll out of boredom. There, he gets approached by Father Gabriel, who apologizes to Carl for saying bad stuff about his father and his approach in the church. Carl asks him to confess to others and come for practice from tomorrow onwards with his machete. When Gabriel leaves, he watches Enid hugging Ron. Sometime later, we see Carol setting a timer to bake cookies for the little kid, but her plans are ruined when she spots a group of outsiders intruding on their community and attacking a woman who was smoking outside because Carol had scolded her for smoking inside the house. Maggie and Deanne also hear the commotion and try to take action, but their side of the community gets ambushed by the intruders. Denna takes out her dagger and makes her move. whereas Carl also shows up with his gun to protect the house from the inside. Ron's guardian angel decides to head out and save him, but she's pulled back by the kid Carol is fond of. Downstairs, Enid enters the house to return the keys before she leaves, but Carl insists that she stay with him until they get rid of the people. While they're at it, he tries to talk her out of leaving the community. Carol makes her move and puts the attacked woman out of misery by killing her. Here the first part ends. Thanks for watching the video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more amazing horror recaps like that.